Okay, so we've been talking about the 5 hindrances that have to be overcome to generate concentration and serenity. So the first one, I mentioned all 5 of them last time. So the first one is sensual desire. So this is one of our big hooks, okay? It's like, I want to see nice things. You know, I don't want to see ugly things. I want to hear nice sounds, nice music, voices that tell me how wonderful I am. I don't want to hear criticism. I don't want to hear people telling me they don't like me, that they don't agree with my ideas. You know, I just want to hear people say how wonderful and charming and fantastic I am and how they're going to be totally delighted to do whatever I want them to do. All right? Yeah, we want this. No? Yeah, we want to smell nice smells, you know. We don't want to smell the septic system. We want to, you know, smell rhubarb pie or chocolate cake or something like that. And we want to have nice tastes, you know, certain kinds of food, and you know, we really want. And we want to have, you know, nice sensual, you know, touching experiences. So the room's the right temperature, and we want people to hug us, and the bed's just the right degree of hardness or softness, and the right amount of covers, so we're not too cold, we're not too hot. The covers have to be a certain design. You know, the blanket's the one that's been in my family for the last 20 years, I can't give it away. You know, all these external things, okay? So we get so hooked on sensual desire. You know, and it spends, you know, we spend a great deal of time thinking about it outside of meditation. And so when we sit down in our meditation, what do we think about? Same things, you know. So some of us get really caught up in the daydream of, you know, I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have that, and I want this, and I want that. And some of us then go from the one of sensual desire to the second one, which is ill will and malice, and that's when, you know, the sensual desire is like I'm wanting and longing and daydreaming and getting this, and the ill will and malice is beep, 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 these people aren't giving it to me, you know, and they're getting in my way, and they're saying mean things to me, and they aren't doing what I want, and they don't respect me, and they don't pay attention to me, and I'm getting ignored, and, you know, I just want to give them some of their own medicine, but really it's for their own benefit, and, you know, I can't stand this situation anymore, and we get really, you know, sunk in with ill will and malice. Okay, so those two are really big distractions in our meditation, aren't they? You know, you sit down and you get maybe one breath done, and then the mind is either daydreaming about what it wants or raging about what it isn't getting. Yeah, so this is why these two are called hindrances to concentration. Okay, so we got to apply the antidotes, of course, to the things that we're attached to remember their impermanence, to remember that they're unsatisfactory by nature, that even if we get them, they aren't going to do everything for us. Okay, and when we're stuck in thoughts of ill will and malice, to cultivate love and compassion for ourselves and also for the other person. Okay, but to switch the mind and, you know, really try and you know, think that person's just like us. They want happiness, they don't want to suffer. It's not like they're trying to make our lives miserable. You know, they're just doing their best to be happy, and it doesn't meet our agenda for them. Yeah, but it's not that they're evil people. Okay, and so, you know, to extend some friendliness towards them, some understanding, some wish for them to be happy, some wish for ourselves to be happy, you know, instead of being so hard on ourselves. I always have so much ill will and malice, I'm hopeless, no wonder I can't concentrate, you know, using the Dharma to beat ourselves up with. Or beat ourselves up, you know, oh, I'm always wandering with these objects of attachment, I can't meditate, I'm hopeless, you know. I mean, all that kind of stuff is just more and more rubbish. So it's better just drop it. Yeah. Okay. So instead, think about impermanence and unsatisfactory nature to counteract the sensual desire. Think of fortitude and love and compassion and forgiveness for yourself and others, to overcome the ill will and malice. Mm-hmm.
So in meditation, it's off to sensual desire, for example, it's not so strong that you actually need to apply the antidote, you just need to bring your mind back. But I'm wondering, in that case, but I'm wondering if in general, meditating really regularly on the impermanent nature of things, if that kind of undermines the tendency to move towards sensual
Okay,
desire.
so if meditating regularly on impermanence will undermine the mind that tends to move towards sensual desire. Of course. Yeah. Of course. Because the more you have a repeated habit in seeing things as transient, the less your mind is going to want to grab onto them. Similarly, the more you meditate about the disadvantages of cyclic existence and the unsatisfactory nature of cyclic existence, the less you're going to be seeking your happiness in cyclic existence. Okay? So when I say antidotes to it, it doesn't mean you let that thing arise and then apply the antidote. I mean, it can mean that, but it's better. Prevention is the best medicine. So you do those meditations regularly, then your mind doesn't tend to go to those extremes. In the same way, if you make it a habit to meditate on fortitude and love and compassion and forgiveness, then your mind is already thinking in that direction, and anger, either for yourself or for other people, is going to naturally not be as strong and won't arise as much.